I walked into a house last spring where the lady of the house met me at the front door, holding a can of bug spray. She had 3 cans, as it turned out. One on the bathroom counter, one on the back of the toilet, one in her purse. She had been fighting the same little gray flies in her guest bathroom since February. She sprayed the walls. She sprayed the ceiling. She set out a bowl of vinegar with plastic wrap over it because somebody on the internet said so. She paid a pest company $180 to fog that room, and 2 weeks later, the flies were right back on the mirror. She thought she had a bug problem. She had a plumbing problem. I got down on one knee, pulled the stopper out of that sink, and put a flashlight down the drain. There was a gray, greasy layer coating the inside of that pipe, about as thick as a coat of paint. That is where those flies were living. Not in her walls, not up in the attic, not in the towels she washed twice. 4 inches below the drain grate in a spot she had never thought to look. Cost me a brush and 20 minutes of my afternoon. So today I am going to show you what those flies actually are, how to prove which drain they are hatching out of, and how to shut that nursery down. 15 steps, cheap stuff, no exterminator, and no more bug spray. Let's get into it. Number 1. Make sure you are looking at drain flies and not something else, because the fix is completely different. A drain fly, and some folks call them moth flies, is about 1/8 of an inch long, gray or tan, fuzzy, and I mean actually fuzzy, like a scrap of lint with legs. The wings sit up over the body like a little tent, and here is the giveaway. They are terrible flyers, just awful. They hop a few inches, land on the wall near the drain, and let you walk right up on them. A fruit fly is different. Tan body, red eyes, and it hovers. You find it circling the fruit bowl, the trash can, the wine glass you left out. A fungus gnat is different again. Skinny, black, long legs, and it comes off your houseplants when you water. Sitting still on a bathroom wall, 3 feet off the floor, near a sink, that is a drain fly. The answer is in your plumbing, and no amount of spraying the room is going to fix it. Number 2. Understand why swatting them does absolutely nothing. The flies you see buzzing around are the end of the story, not the beginning. One female drain fly lays somewhere between 30 and 100 eggs, and she does not lay them in the air. She lays them in the film. Let me explain what that film is, because this is the whole ballgame. Every drain in your house has a layer of organic gunk built up inside the pipe. Soap scum, toothpaste, hair, skin cells, grease, and a whole colony of bacteria living in it. Plumbers call it biofilm. You would call it slime. It is soft, it is gelatinous, and it clings to the pipe wall like jelly in a jar. That slime is not a symptom. That slime is food, shelter, and a nursery all in one. The eggs hatch into larvae right there in the film. The larvae eat the film. Then they turn into adults and crawl up out of your drain. That cycle takes 1 to 3 weeks, so there is always another batch coming. You can kill every adult fly in that bathroom tonight and have a fresh crop by Thursday. You are picking apples and wondering why the tree keeps making more. Number 3. Prove which drain it is with the tape test. Most useful thing in this whole video, and it costs you nothing. Get a roll of clear packing tape, wide stuff, 2 inches. Before you go to bed, stretch a piece across the drain opening, sticky side down, and press the edges flat so it seals all the way around. Do that on every drain you suspect. Sink, tub, shower, floor drain, laundry standpipe, the same night. Take a marker and write the room name on each piece. You think you will remember. You will not. Leave them alone until morning, and no water in those fixtures overnight. In the morning, go look. The flies hatch out, fly up, and stick to the underside of the tape. Whichever drain has flies on it, that is your nursery. Usually one, sometimes two. Run it 2 or 3 nights before you commit. A slow night does not clear a drain. This is diagnosis before treatment. And between you and me, that is the difference between a tradesman and a guy with a bottle of something. Number 4. Check the drains you forgot you even own, because that is where the money is. 9 times out of 10, it is not the kitchen sink you use 4 times a day. It is the drain nobody touches. The guest bathroom sink, the basement floor drain, the laundry standpipe, which is that pipe sticking out of the floor that your washing machine hose dumps into, the utility sink in the garage, the basement shower used twice a year when the grandkids come. There is a reason those are the ones. 2, actually. Water moving through a pipe every day scours the walls and keeps the film thin. A drain nobody runs never gets scoured, so the film thickens into a solid mat. The second reason is the trap dries out, and that is next. Walk your house and make a list. I have found the nursery in a floor drain behind a water heater more times than I can count, in a spot the homeowner had not looked at since they moved in. Number 5. Pour water down every unused drain in the house and find out which traps are dry. The trap is that U-shaped bend of pipe under your sink, and its whole job is to hold a plug of water that seals your house off from the sewer line. As long as there is water sitting in that bend, nothing comes up. Let a drain sit unused for a few weeks, especially in a house running air conditioning all summer, and that water evaporates. Once it does, the seal is gone. Now you have an open pipe running straight to the sewer, and flies come up through it from lines you cannot even see. You get sewer gas in the room too. So take a pitcher and pour a quart or 2 down every drain you do not use regularly. Here is the tell. If a room smells faintly like a sewer or like a wet basement that will not air out, the trap in that room is dry. That is not a mystery smell. That is a plumbing report. Number 6. Narrow it down before you start treating, and do not treat all 8 drains in the house. I know the temptation. You want to blast everything at once and be done, but treat every drain the same night, and you have spent 4 times the money and learned nothing. Come next spring, you are back at square one with no idea which fixture is the problem. Treat the 1 or 2 the tape identified. Watch what happens. Now you know your house. That is how I have always worked. Find the fault, fix the fault. Leave the rest alone. Quick word before number 7. If the forgotten drains are your trouble, I put together a book called 101 Ways to Unclog Any Drain. It covers those exact ones, floor drains, standpipes, basement showers, using what is already in your cabinet. Link is in the description, or scan the code on your screen. Subscribe to the Vintage Pipe Fitter for old school know-how that saves real money every week. Number 7. Pull the stopper out and clean the part you can hold in your hand. On most bathroom sinks, that stopper connects to a rod. Reach behind the drain body under the sink, and you will feel a horizontal rod going into the back, held by a little nut. Loosen that nut by hand, pull the rod straight back, and the stopper lifts right out of the bowl. On a lift and turn tub stopper, there is a small set screw under the knob, and a 3/32 or 1/8 inch Allen wrench backs it out. Look at what you pulled out. There is a collar of black gunk and hair around the bottom. That is the same film, and it is loaded. Scrub it with hot soapy water and an old toothbrush. Take it down to bare metal or plastic. That one step removes a real share of the nursery, and most people never do it because they did not know it came out. Number 8. Brush the first foot of pipe, because that is where the film actually lives. Now let me be honest about the title on this video, because I am not going to overstate it. People say the flies are breeding deep down in your pipes. Deep sounds dramatic. It is usually not true. The bulk of that film sits in the first 12 inches below the grate and down in the trap, where there is air, moisture, and fresh food every day. Further down the line, the pipe stays flooded and moving, and the film has a harder time of it. So you do not need a drain snake, and you do not need a plumber. You need a stiff drain brush. Nylon bristles, 3 or 4 feet long, quarter inch to half inch across, $8 to $12 at any hardware store. A long bottle brush works in a pinch. Feed it in and twist as you go. Do not just poke it in and pull it out. You are scrubbing a wall, so work it in and out with a turning motion until the brush comes up clean. What comes back on those bristles is gray, stringy, and it smells. That is the nursery coming out of your house. Then run hot tap water a minute to carry the loose stuff down. Number 9. Follow the brush with an enzyme or bacterial drain gel and let it sit overnight. You will find these at the hardware store or online, $10 to $15 a bottle. Look for a foaming drain gel with live bacteria or enzymes. A few are sold for exactly this, and they all work about the same. What they do is simple. The bacteria eat organic matter. You are not killing the flies, you are eating the house out from under them. And here is the part people skip. It has to be a gel or a foam, not a liquid. A liquid runs straight down the pipe into the sewer in about 2 seconds. A gel clings to a vertical wall and stays put for hours, and hours is what it takes. Do it last thing at night. Squirt it around the inside of the drain, coat the walls, walk away. No water in that fixture for 6 to 8 hours. Repeat 2 or 3 nights, or whatever the label says. One thing to be clear on. This is not a drain opener. If your sink is holding water, that is a different job. Number 10. The old school version, for those of you who would rather not buy anything at all. Flush with hot tap water. Brush it, same as we just went through. Then reach for one of 2 things you probably have. Washing soda, which is sodium carbonate, sits on the laundry aisle, about $4 a box. Dissolve half a cup in a quart of hot water and pour it down slow so it wets the walls on the way. It cuts grease and raises the pH enough to make that film let go. Or plain 3% hydrogen peroxide, the brown bottle from the medicine cabinet. Pour it in straight, no water behind it. It foams up when it hits organic matter and clings a little longer than water. Either one, let it sit overnight. Let me kill a myth while we are here. Baking soda and vinegar, everybody's favorite. Pour them together and what you get is salt water and carbon dioxide, because the acid and the base cancel each other out. The show is impressive, the cleaning is not, and one hard rule: do not mix bleach with anything. Not vinegar, not ammonia glass cleaner, not another drain product. That makes chlorine gas, and in a small bathroom with the door shut, it will put you in the hospital. Between you and me, the brush is doing most of the work anyway. The soak just finishes what the bristles started. Number 11. Understand why bleach and boiling water fail, because those are the 2 things everybody tries first. Bleach is a fine sanitizer on a countertop, where it sits wet a few minutes. Poured down a drain, it is gone in about 2 seconds. Contact time is everything, and bleach gets almost none. On top of that, the bacteria build themselves a shell and hide under it, so a splash of bleach kills what it touches on the surface, and the layer underneath survives just fine. A week later, the film has healed over, and the flies are back, and you conclude the flies are unkillable. They are not. Your method was. Boiling water has the same contact problem, plus a real risk. It cools as it falls. It does not cling. And if your drain lines are PVC, that white plastic pipe, the material is rated around 140 degrees. Boiling water is 212. Do it enough times, and you can soften a joint or work a glued fitting loose. And now you have a leak under the cabinet on top of your flies. There is splashback too, and boiling water bouncing back at your face is a bad afternoon. Hot tap water is fine. It runs about 120 and will not hurt a thing. Number 12. Clean the overflow, because this is the step that makes people think the treatment failed. Look at your bathroom sink under the rim, or your tub under the spout. There is a hole or a slot there. That is the overflow, a passage that runs down inside the fixture and ties back into the drain body below the stopper. Think about what that passage is. Dark, damp, never flushed, never scrubbed. Nobody has ever cleaned yours. It is a perfect second nursery, connected to the drain you just spent an evening cleaning. On a sink, work a small bottle brush in through the hole as far as it goes and scrub. Then pour your gel or peroxide in through that same hole with a funnel. On a tub, the overflow plate comes off with 2 screws, usually Phillips. Brush the tube behind it. 9 times out of 10, when somebody tells me they did everything right and the flies came back, this is what they missed. Number 13. Expect stragglers for about a week, and know that is normal instead of failure. I want to be straight with you about the promise in the title. You can end the breeding tonight. One evening of work shuts the nursery down. What you cannot do is have 0 flies by morning, and anybody who tells you otherwise is selling something. Here is why. The eggs laid before you started are still going to hatch. Larvae in a fold of the trap can survive a first pass. So for the next several days, adults are still coming up out of that drain. What you are watching for is the trend, not the count. Day 1, a dozen. Day 3, 4 or 5. Day 6, 1 or 2. Day 9, none. That is a win, and that is what a proper job looks like. If you are still seeing the same number on day 10, you did not fail at cleaning. You cleaned the wrong drain, or you skipped the overflow. Go back to the tape test and find the one you missed. Number 14. Keep them from ever coming back, and this part takes about 2 minutes a week. Every rarely used drain gets hot water run through it 2 or 3 minutes once a week. That is it. Moving water keeps the film thin and refills the trap so it cannot dry out. For a basement floor drain, pour a gallon of water in once a month. And here is an old trick I have used for 30 years. After the water, pour in 2 or 3 tablespoons of cooking oil or mineral oil. The oil floats on top of the trap water and slows evaporation way down so that seal holds for months instead of weeks. Costs nothing, and it works. Once a month, pull the sink stopper and wipe it off, 30 seconds, and fix your slow drains. A sink that drains slow holds standing water and hair, and that is a film factory. A slow drain today is a fly problem in July. Number 15. Know when it is not the drain at all, because I am not going to send you chasing your tail. If you have cleaned every drain, treated the overflows, kept every trap wet, and you are still getting fuzzy little flies week after week, something else is feeding them. A cracked drain line under the slab, a broken pipe in the crawl space, soaking the dirt underneath, a sewer cleanout cap cracked or missing, a failed wax ring under a toilet where sewage has been weeping into the subfloor. In all of those, flies are breeding in raw sewage under your house, and no brush will reach it. That is where I stop, and you should too. Cracked lines under a slab, main sewer work, anything needing a permit. That is a licensed plumber with a camera. Have the line scoped so you know what you are paying for before anybody picks up a shovel. Knowing where your end of the job stops is part of doing the job right. One more thing. That book, 101 Ways to Unclog Any Drain, covers every drain in the house, kitchen and disposal, tub and shower, toilet, laundry, out to the main line. Every fix in it is a service call of $150 to $400 you never make. Details are in the description. Stay with the vintage pipe fitter for trade knowledge that pays for itself. One last thing, and this takes the guesswork out of the whole week. Go buy a pack of yellow sticky traps in the garden section, $3 or $4 a dozen. Cut one in half and lay it flat on the counter next to the treated drain. Every morning, count what is stuck to it and write the number in the corner. Now, you are not guessing whether it is working. You have a record. Numbers dropping day over day means you got the right drain. Numbers flat or climbing on day 7 means you missed one, and you already know what to do about that. Costs about a quarter and settles the argument in a week. I will see you on the next one.